Hey folks, this is Jason with the Primal Outdoors channel, and today we're wandering through the woods because we're going to do a little bit of cooking for you again tonight, but we're going to be looking upon Mother Nature to provide a good portion of the meal tonight. So I'm going to be looking around for a few items and see what we can come up with. Alright folks, so this is one of the items I'm looking for tonight's dinner. It's a chanterelle mushroom. Now, I am not a mushroom connoisseur. I don't know a lot of different varieties, but I am confident with chanterelles. But I don't want you guys to take this video as any type of how-to on picking mushrooms, because I would hate for anybody to grab the wrong thing and end up very, very sick. Mushrooms are definitely a no-joke item, and you should definitely not pick any mushrooms and consume them if you're not absolutely sure what you're getting. So I am confident with chanterelles. It's pretty much the only mushroom that I really do know, and I can tell it's a chanterelle based off the gills underneath and just the way the top looks. I pick these every archery season during the month of September, you know, if it's wet enough. This year it's been very wet during the month of September, so they're actually growing really in quite abundance this year. So anyways, we're gonna take this and maybe find a few more along the way. We only maybe need one more like this for tonight's dinner, but we're also gonna go looking for some berries, which are also growing very well this year. So here's another type of mushroom I've been finding a lot of this year. As you can see, there's a couple of them here. I think these are a coral mushroom, and I'm not really sure, and I don't know if they are a poisonous or a non-poisonous mushroom. Anyways, if you have any ideas on it, leave that down in the comments. Alright guys, so I've been all over the hillside, and so far I'm getting a little bit disappointed. I'm definitely finding the plant that I want. This is the plant that I'm looking for, and these are Oregon berries, and they have been growing like crazy all September, and I've been finding them everywhere. And in fact, I've even been up on this hillside before and found them in plenty, but right now I'm pretty much finding the plant, but they're all barren and out of berries. So far I've only found just this tiny bag full, so hopefully you just keep looking, and hopefully we'll find what we're looking for. That could have a major effect on our meal plans tonight. Alright guys, so I'm finally starting to find a good amount of these little Oregon grapes, and I'm actually starting to get a decent bag worth. I don't need a ton, I just want to make a glaze tonight. Now these berries, or grapes I guess, I kind of consider them a berry, but it's called Oregon grape. They're very tart, and they've got a bit of a seed in them, so you'll want to spit out the seed. Now, as far as what I'm going to do with them tonight, I'm just going to kind of make a glaze with them. So, like I said, I guess I don't need a ton. So I'm just going to try to find a few more, and then let's get headed back to camp and start getting some dinner going. Alright folks, so we're back at camp. We have everything out that we're going to use pretty much as far as the main ingredients. I do have a couple other things we'll add as we go along, and they're back on my shelf or fender back on the trailer, but we are starting to run low on daylight, so I am going to kind of work through this fairly quickly. But my plan is we've got our bear meat, which is from a bear that I took during archery season. We're actually allowed to get 2 tags in Southwest Oregon, and I filled both tags, and yeah, it was quite an exciting experience because both bears I shot within 10 yards, and then the second bear, actually after being shot, thought where I was standing was a good place for him to get out of town, but he didn't know I was there, and he got within about 5 feet of me and made for a pretty exciting couple minutes until he saw me and then scooted off up into the forest where he eventually passed, and then we were able to go up and process him and take him out. So, but anyways, we've got some of the bear meat from the first bear, and so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna cube it up like I did in a past video, just like I did with the butcher box meat. We are gonna cube all this up into small bits and pieces. A couple things to know about bear is, I really like it. It's super good meat. I hear a lot of rumors that says bear meat is greasy. I have never found that to be true. I've eaten quite a bit of bear in the last few years that has come from multiple different places, even outside of the country. A neighbor of mine went on a Canadian bear hunt and brought back some of the meat, and I have never known bear meat to be greasy, so I kind of feel like that's just a wives' tale or something that has just been passed down forever and ever, but I have never known that to be true. Second thing that is the most important thing about bear meat is the leading cause of trichinosis in this country. You know, it used to be pork, but since they've kind of got a handle on pork, now it's pretty much bear meat. So one of the things that you really want to make sure that whenever you're eating bear meat is that it is well done. You know, a lot of times with venison or elk, you like to cook it medium rare. With bear meat, that is a major no-no. You definitely want to cook it well done to make sure that if the bear meat does have any trichinosis in it, that it is killed off, and then it will be completely fine. So anyways, as long as that doesn't scare you away, a lot of times what I use bear meat for is stews and roast, because at those point you're doing slow cooking for a long period of time. By the time you actually do eat the bear, it is well cooked and just kind of falling apart just like a good roast should. So that's a lot of the ways I typically cook bear when I am cooking it. But today we are going to do it on the Skottle, so I do want to kind of cut it up and cube it into really small pieces. That way it'll help it cook a little faster, and we can also make sure that it's cooked well done. So anyways, I'm going to start by getting the bear meat all cut up. Like I said, our sun is dropping, so we need to kind of get on the stick here. Alright, so now that we got that cut up, I want to clean up my cutting board like I've done in the past, and I've got some hot water here that I have on the BioLite, so we're just going to rinse that all off really good. And then we will, the next thing I'm actually going to do is work with our Oregon grape here. So what I want to do is I'm just going to dump these back in the bag that I had them in, because I just want to squish them all up. I just want to get them all really squished. So I'm just going to close this bag, and I'm just going to crush them. Get some of the air out of the bag. Alright, so we're just going to get them good and squished up here. Alright, so now that I've got them pretty well squished up, I'm just going to open one side here a little bit. And we'll bring our dog bowl back in to play here, and I'm just going to try to just squeeze the juice out as much as possible without necessarily getting too many of the seeds and other pulp and stuff, but I just want to get the juice out. Oh yeah. Alright, I think that we'll just set that aside. I think that will do for now. Now what I'm going to do is I got some honey. I'm just going to dump it in the water here for a couple minutes here. Let it just get really soft so that it wants to pour out of there good, because I don't really have a whole lot, so and it ain't going to take much here while this is sitting on this fire. In fact, let's just put a couple pieces of wood on our fire. Alright, there, honey is good and runny, so I'm just going to pour that into that. So that tartness and the sweetness of the honey should go well together, so that's all my honey. Now, one other thing I want to add to this is some red pepper flakes. Add a little heat. Alright, that is going to be awesome. So I'm going to just get that honey and Oregon grape mixture all mixed together well. Alright, now let's just set that aside and we'll go ahead and cut up our chanterelles. I'm just going to go ahead and lop off the bottoms here because that's just pretty much dirt. And then we'll just slice these up real quick. The knife I'm using for everything, for those that are interested and don't know, most people who follow my channel do know, but it is the William Collins WCSK. So this is the William Collins WCSK. It's pretty much my go-to knife for everything. I use it from camp chores, starting fires, making feather sticks, to cooking, and it's turned out to be one of my favorite cooking knives. I just really like how well, for a big knife, it cuts things up. So yeah, for those that are interested, at least, I guess. Alright, so now we got everything ready to go. We've got our glaze, we got our mushrooms, our meat is going, so I'm going to fire up the skottle, and we'll start getting it heated up. Alright guys, so you can see our skottle is getting good hot. I am just going to grab some coconut oil here and put it down on the skottle and get it melting, because I'm going to cook the meat first. But this bear can be very lean like deer and elk, so I put a little bit of oil down just to keep it from wanting to stick to the skottle so much. So, alright, so we're just gonna work it around there and get it cooking. One of the things I also really appreciate about bear meat is, without sounding super weird, which I'm thinking this will, it's one of the more attractive meats that I've ever seen. It's super ruby red and just always looks really appealing to me in like a steak form. Little daisy hair there. So I'm going to brown this. So my goal is to brown this meat. I want to get it to where I don't see any of that ruby red anymore. And once I feel like it's pretty good and brown, like I said, I really want to make sure this meat is well done. So I'm going to get it to a point here where I can see all the pieces are pretty well browned up from the skottle. And then what I'm going to do is just grab the skottle lid and put it over the top here. All right, so our meat's been cooking. I feel like it's getting pretty well done. I'm just gonna add a little bit of this glaze. Oh man, that smells good. So we're gonna cook that a little bit in this, just let that glaze kind of get around it. And what I'm going to just basically do is I'm going to let some of this sauce basically just cook off a little bit. Let some of the liquid part of it kind of cook off a little bit. Our sun is going down, so I may have to adjust cameras here accordingly for the light, but I always enjoy this time of night. The river just looks really beautiful with this late evening light, and you know, we're getting into late September, and you know, things are just starting to change around here. The leaves, a few leaves here and there starting to change. It's hunting season, or for me, hunting season's just about over at the time of this filming. We only got a couple more days left, but yeah, what a really great time of year. And what a great time of year to be able to come out and cook something that you pretty much, you know, other than a couple minor ingredients, we pretty much got all out of the field. And I think there's a real satisfaction there for me to be able to have gone out, you know, harvested an animal, and then gone out and got some nice things like the mushrooms and the Oregon grapes, and then be able to cook, you know, a meal like this. I feel like that there's, you know, definitely some real satisfaction there. All right, so this is looking pretty good. So what I'm going to do is to just take everything, take the bear meat and just move it off to the side for a minute. And just let it sit there and stay warm. And that's a nice thing about the Skottle, is it allows you to just kind of move things around, keep things warm. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add just a little bit more coconut oil, just about another spoonful. And then we'll cook in these chanterelles. So these won't really take too long to cook. I just kind of want to get them mixed around really good. Yeah, it's looking good. So let's just go ahead and we're just going to add some more of our glaze here, or our sauce, whatever you want to call it, glaze, sauce, I don't really know. I'm not a chef. I just make stuff up, like this meal. I just thought this sounded good. I have no idea if it will be, but I mean, I know bear meat's good, I know chanterelles are good, but making the sauce out of the Oregon berries, that's we're about to find out whether or not that's gonna be good or not. But we're just gonna, again, I'm gonna let that cook, let some of that liquid cook off, and then we'll mix everything back together and we should be ready to eat. Alright guys, so what I've done here is I've moved, the mushrooms were pretty well cooked, and I wanted to get a little bit more of that glaze to basically thicken up a little bit. So I've just been kind of cooking it by itself, but it's getting to where I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and just bring the meat back in, get it all mixed in that real good, and then we'll get the mushrooms in there. Oh yeah, now we're talking. It's looking real syrupy, just the way I wanted it. All right, I think that's gonna look good, guys. I am going to shut off my Skottle here. We'll let that just sit. Again, more daisy hair. Daisy hair over everything. All right. Man, it smells super good. All right, guys, so what do you say we plate this up? and give it a try. All right, so moment of truth. Piece of bear. Okay, that's ridiculous. That glaze, just exactly what I was hoping for. Still a little bit tart, but adding that honey added a little bit of sweetness, and you got that. You got that little red pepper in there, adding just a little bit of heat. Perfect. Let's try a chanterelle. Oh. Oh yeah. Okay. I ain't lying. I've eaten these chanterelles a lot of times, and they're good, and I love them. But this is the best I have ever had them. All right, folks. So as you can see, I did not do a good job at framing this shot. I'd moved the tripod out of the way just for a minute to get a picture of the food on the Skottle with the river in the background, which didn't even turn out to be that fantastic of a shot. And when I put the tripod back, I thought it was right back where it was before, but you can tell it definitely is not. But I hope you can see that I am enjoying the food. It came out really good. The flavor in those mushrooms was absolutely extraordinary, and I absolutely would love to be able to do this dish again, or be able to make that sauce again for sure. Anyhow, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, likes always help. If you have any comments or questions, please leave those down below, and I'll catch you guys again outside.
From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.